a situation. My husband is out of state right now, Dave. He's traveling, picking up a herd of gray alpacas because we are expanding into grays. So he's picking up a small herd of male gray alpacas, and I'm here on our 47-acre off-grid remote alpaca ranch, totally by myself. And we've got an alpaca that's not doing super good. So that means I'm gonna have to load her up and take her to the vet on my own. And to get to our vet, it's a 2-hour drive one way. So that means 4 hours round trip. To be transparent, I hardly ever leave the farm. I've lived off grid for about 2.5 years, and I leave maybe every 3 weeks, once a month or so. And that's one of the things that comes with this type of lifestyle, is that the more remote and isolated you are, the more sensitive you become to the outer world, you know? And the outer world can feel kind of harsh when you are used to just living in your own bubble, you know? So anyhow, I'm feeling brave, and I'm gonna do it because our girl, Tara, right there, she needs to be seen. So she's been off since last week. We had a natural building friends and family gathering here, and we noticed on Friday that she did not seem her best self. She wasn't really eating or chewing her cud. And we did a couple of interventions on our own, like giving mineral oil orally, probiotics and electrolytes. And we did call the vet as well. But at that time, there wasn't much else for us to report, and there wasn't much else you could do as far as interventions go. So we didn't bring her in, and now it's been about 3 days later and she's still off. So I called the vet, and we do want to do some labs and just get her a good full complete assessment done. So I'm going to take her to the vet on my own, and I'm going to bring a companion animal with her as well, an older female, because alpacas are herd animals, and they get a lot of anxiety and insecurity when they're separate from the herd. Walk. So like I mentioned, I intended on bringing an older lady to be Tara's companion for the vet ride, but I couldn't get her loaded. She cushed and she was being stubborn. So I just grabbed another maiden here, Lilith. She's also 2 years old, and I should be able to load these two no problem because they're small. Come on, walk. Come on. So that took me a little bit longer because I couldn't catch, well, I caught the older lady, but she did not want to load. She did not want to move. So I had to chase Lilith around. So now I have Lilith and Tara in the back of the van, and I'm on the road, just 15 minutes late. I'll have to call the vet when I make it to the highway and just let them know, and I'm sure they will understand. Thanks for subscribing. I did my best to make up some lost time on the dirt road. After the animals laid down, I was able to go a little bit faster. Just pulling up to the vet. We're only 4 minutes late. So we're leaving the vet. We had a really long wait because an alpaca farm that we really love had just pulled up, and they had an emergency, and it was super sad. I'm super sad for them, but in regards to our animal, we're treating Tara actually for a gastric ulcer, because one of the symptoms I noticed on the way down here was that she kept grinding her teeth. And I guess that's a symptom of pain when there's a gastric ulcer present. And then we also got some labs drawn to check for deficiency, because she's definitely off, and the vet agrees. It's not like a regular, oh, you know, she's got, you know, some constipation or something like that. It's not that easy. There's something different going on, something more subtle. Anyhow, thank you for your support, and I'll let you know how the labs come back. They'll be back in the morning. So I'm making my way back in on the dirt road. And actually, there's a car in front of me. Somebody that I've met before, so that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable making this drive in, just because my husband's out of town. So if anything were to happen on this 15 miles of dirt road, at least there's this man in front of me that could possibly lend a hand. So here's our farm, here's the gate, completely dark. There's the moon, and you can see our female alpacas kind of being illuminated by the headlights right now. And they're probably pretty happy to see one of their humans return home. Here I am in the van with our 2 females that came on the journey with me today. So I'm going to give Tara the first dose of her medicine. It's oral. Just making sure she takes all the medicine down and doesn't spit it out. That's a good girl. Yeah, she just swallowed. This is Tara, and that's Lilith. Poor baby. Good girls. So I just got off the phone with the vet, and it turns out that Tara is actually pretty sick. So she has an elevated white count that's actually like twice the normal high. So she has a pretty bad infectious process taking place inside. And also her kidney labs are off as well. So I'm going to give her antibiotics once a day for a week. Now, normally if we had an alpaca that we were treating for a bad infection, we would do twice a day antibiotics. But since she has kidney abnormalities, we can't treat her that aggressively because this is hard on the kidneys. So hopefully this does the trick, and she gets better, because she's definitely a farm favorite, and this is making me feel pretty anxious. So prayers for Tara, please. Thank you. So I've got Tara haltered and tied to this panel right here. Normally I would put an animal in the chute, because we do have an animal chute inside the main barn, but I don't feel like taking her through our pregnant ladies. I'm praying she's not contagious, but I just want to play it safe. So I'm just going to give her this injection right here along this fence panel, and hopefully she cooperates. And I'm just going to give it in the back of the leg with a 20 gauge needle. Hey, buddy. So she got a little wild at first, but it worked out okay. And so now she got her first dose of the antibiotic, and we'll continue this on, and the vet's going to check back with us in a few days. Dave is back from Colorado with our new gray males. Oh, you're so handsome. Look at you, dude. Look at you. This is a rose gray, I believe. Before we unload these males, Dave is putting together a couple of quarantine pens so that we can keep them separate from the herd, just to make sure they're healthy and they don't have any parasites or any issues that would potentially put our herd at risk. So that's always safe practice, to keep new animals separate from your own animals when they first arrive on your farm, to make sure everybody is healthy and safe. So here's our gray males that Dave was picking up from a really amazing farm in Colorado, and they actually sent back some fiber for me and also some sheep's wool, and they also invited me to teach a felting workshop on their farm. But anyhow, we're expanding into breeding grays. So we got two gray, these are rose gray herd sires right here. They look like a brown, but you'll notice that they kind of have like a smoky blue tint to their fiber. That's called rose gray. And then we have a silver gray right there. So super excited to be expanding into breeding grays and bringing lots of gray babies into the world, and also lots of gray fiber art. So right now we have these males in isolation pens because it's important to protect the herd from any kind of germs or parasites or whatever that were on the farm where they came from. So they got to stay in isolation for a while just so we can make sure that they are super duper healthy to integrate the herd. So they're a little bit alone and separate from the rest, but they still get to make noises to each other and kind of connect from afar. These are all males over here. Anyhow, we'll start breeding next month, so we'll be documenting that fully on our YouTube channel. Dave is so strategic with how he breeds our alpacas, going back generations and generations. And we breed for color, diversity, and teddy bear faces. So you'll notice that a lot of our babies that were born on our farm have big fluffy faces and dark colors. Flashing back to just a few days before Tara got sick, it was time for our second Friends and Family Natural Building Gathering. Here is Chris Martinez back again from Los Angeles to teach us natural building and help us build the barn. Here is the pond where we harvested all of the clay. Dave dug this pond himself with the tractor. You can see one pile of clay on the other side of the pond, and then we have a massive pile of clay here to the left. And here comes Dave on the tractor to scoop up a large pile and bring it over to the build site. The barn we are building is for our juvenile alpacas. We are a fully operating alpaca ranch, so we breed and have babies twice a year in fall and spring. If you didn't catch last week's vlog episode, the second half of that episode is us starting this barn build. So you can go back to that episode and watch us start from the ground up. Otherwise, here we are starting where we left off. Chris came to town and we worked for nearly a full day together as we waited for the rest of our friends and family to arrive. This clay is so magical and it feels so good in my hand. I wish you guys could feel it. how long have you been building with earth?
I've been building with earth since probably 2011 was my first time.
Wow, that's like 12 years or something. That's a lot of experience. So what's your favorite modality to work with?
My favorite technique in natural building is cob because it's like so flexible. Like you could basically do whatever you want. All you have to do is imagine it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see any of this.
This is good. I don't know if you want to get this, Nicole. I'm going to start packing.
I am. I'm going to come over there. I'm just getting Fritz's feet.
I was thinking that maybe
I can shove some down in the bag.
yeah, let's do it.
So this is light clay straw here. This is earth bags underneath here. So this has a first layer of plaster on it. And this wall is cob. So we have 3 different modalities on this little earthen barn. And right here, Dave is about to start on the light clay straw wall. So Dave and I are working on the light clay straw. This is earth bag right here. The light clay straw is going to go above it, up there. And we're just making another batch. So this is straw and clay that has been sifted and soaked in water. So that it kind of sticks together, but not like cob does with sand. And then we pack it in these boards. And then after it has a little bit of time to dry, the boards come off and the light clay straw stays there. Our intention for the community gathering was to do the earthen plaster, but before we could do the plaster, we have to finish the light clay straw wall and also that small section of cob in the back. When you're making earthen plaster, it's really important to have the finest materials to work with. So here is a video of Chris quickly building a sifter on site by using 2x4s and some screen mesh so that we can sift the sand and clay and make the nicest earthen plaster for our alpaca barn. And here I am sifting the sand that we harvested from the stream bed that will go into the plaster that we use. Our friends and family were slowly starting to arrive and they were really excited to start working with the clay and building with cob. I would have to say that cob is everyone's favorite because you get to mix it with your feet. It feels so good to have it squish in between your toes. It's absolutely grounding.
Burrito it. Let's burrito it. So grab some and make a couple balls. Okay. So make a couple balls.
Oh yeah.
Feels about the same.
Okay, and then stand up and drop it on the tarp.
And just let it fall?
Yeah. So you're good.
We started settling into a good flow with some of the group working on the light clay straw and some of the group working on the cob wall. One of the most rewarding things about natural building is that anybody can learn it. All you need is the raw materials and a group of people that are excited about connecting to the earth and building with the earth. You teach them a few things, and then next thing you know, everybody is building and working together, and the project just really takes off. So here's Al and Marissa working on a giant 8-pointed star. That'll be our first art exhibition that we have on an earthen structure on our farm. So step away and let's look at it for a sec. Okay. So right now it's just a cob circle on a cob wall. But there will be 8 beams of light coming out from the center. And then we have all these beautiful pigments to work with. Natural pigments for natural building.
Coming over with a stick. Huh?
So everyone in the group definitely gained new skills. Here's one of our community members learning how to mix earth and plaster for the first time.
Well, we're like the goal is to try to get this
top stuff.
Yeah, get the straw integrated with the other stuff. And you can add some water if there's some behind it if you guys need.
And I absolutely love this clip of my daughter learning how to mix plaster as well. We spent about 3 days working together on the barn. We were able to complete the light clay straw wall and get the cob done, and we got all of the art up that we wanted to get up. We got a fair amount of the plastering done as well. In the evenings, we feasted together by cooking over an open fire, and we also enjoyed our community space that I call the Shade Shala. This is it. It's actually just a large commercial greenhouse that we're using for community. We've got a couple of large propane stoves set up and some lounging areas, and you can also see those large tapestries I made from alpaca and wool in the background. It's a great space for just hanging out and getting some rest throughout our time working together. A special thank you to Chris and all of our friends and family. We are so grateful for your help, and we can't wait till next time. Please don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for next week's episode, where I will give you an update on how Tara the alpaca is doing and also show you our completed barn project. Thank you. Take care.